Okay, hello and good evening and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our patching podcast. This evening, we are going to be featuring X39, our stem cell activating patch. And your host today is myself, Kathleen Nichols, and the lovely Wendy Morgan. Wendy Morgan. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Especially want to welcome all of you out there that are new for the first time, that are going to be hearing this information for the first time. I just invite you to sit back, open your heart, open your ears, and hear about this amazing revolutionary technology that is leading edge. And I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised on what you hear. And so also, I'd really like to invite you to tell the person that invited you, thank you so, so much, because you know what? That means they love you, they care about you, they are a health supporter of you, because it really is changing the quality of people's lives and really just raising the consciousness on the planet entirely. So what we're going to do this half hour is we are going to have two lovely ladies tell their stories. One is going to tell her personal story. The other one will tell about her mom. And that's just real people telling real stories. And Wendy will interview them, and then she'll send it back to me, and I'll tell you how the technology works and how to get it. So before I get started, I just want to say that we do have a medical disclaimer, and basically the information discussed here is not meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Our patches are using light therapy and allowing the body to heal itself. So if you have any concerns, we invite you to speak to your primary physician. So although we do have many, many doctors on our team, that's not what we're doing here tonight. We're sharing you information about light therapy. So who is the captain of our ship? That guy is called David Schmidt. He is our inventor, our founder, our CEO, and everything under the sun. He is amazing. He is a visionary, and he saw the future of regenerative medicine about 10 years ago. And at that point, he sunk millions of dollars into research and development, and he discovered how to reset, activate, and produce new stem cells through light therapy, through your own body's light. Really amazing. And that's what we're going to find out about this evening. So with that, I'm going to introduce Wendy again, ask her to come up and interview our two lovely ladies. Wendy.
Hi, thank you so much, Kathleen. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's having a really great week thus far. Today we have two beautiful women for you, and I'm going to call forward first Charlene. Charlene, if you could unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, awesome. So how are you doing tonight, Charlene?
I'm awesome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. So everybody, Charlene is a beautiful 66-year young woman from Idaho. So Charlene, so trying to share a little bit, just how long have you been experiencing the patches first?
We started on the patches November 19th of 2021.
Awesome. Excellent. And you have quite a story to share with us. So we're going to sit back and just take in your beautiful generosity of sharing your beautiful story with us. So please share with us what had been going on with your life prior to experiencing those X39 patches, and what has changed for you?
Well, now that I'm here, I can look back and see what was going on. But at the time, no one knew what was going on. I realized that it started, I had radiation given to me as a child. I was in the hospital, and we were watching my blood light up to see what was going on, because nobody knew what was going on. So I guess then in high school, I got mono. And then after that, they didn't know. This was just progressive. You know, we'd be out playing volleyball, having fun, and boom, I crashed. Just wasn't doing very well. And it seemed to be a cyclic thing. It just kept cycling. And so in 1990, I was working, married, had a child. And again, this hit very hard, so hard that the indicators were pointing to bone cancer. I worked at the hospital. So these were my friends that were concerned. And we just couldn't figure out what was wrong. So they thought maybe to give me some radiation to kill my thyroid might be the thing to do. So I figured they knew what they're doing. So let's go ahead and do this. And that the whatever was going on was a piece of cake to get over, but purging this, the side effects of the radiation have really done a number. I started purging in 2000, which started off as an itchy burn, and it took up over my hip, my left leg, my whole foot. It just was inflamed, this burn thing. And so then, you know, I'd come out of that. Oh, good. That was good. We're done. Let's start feeling really great. Do this. We got it. We're riding motorcycles. We're having fun. We're into life. And boom, it would happen again. So life lifed, and I did my gypsy thing, and it was cycling the whole time. They were farther apart then. In 2014, I had a visit from my husband. He wasn't my husband at the time. And when he came to visit, I had one of those things, and I actually transitioned while he was there. And my body, I let go of my body. And he was there, and he brought me back, and I'm here today. But I came up here the next year in 2015, because this is God's gig, and I knew I needed to listen instead of argue. And so the episodes when I got up here started to come more often. The burn on my leg. I had a gig at our local Treasure Valley Community College teaching energy classes and doing what I do as a light worker. And I realized that I'm not going to be able to do that because I can't wear a shoe. I was too weak. I was using a walker. My husband was using a cane. And we stopped, and I cracked up, and I went, look at us. Look at us. So in March of 2020, I decided to let it all go and heal using my inner light. So I know the light heals all things. And so that's how the bone cancer went away. So I just thought I need to take time off and dive in. And so, but it, you know, it's slow going, and the pain was intense. I was taken out of my life. This radiation is horrible.
So Charlene, forgive me for interrupting, because so just to kind of wrap it around, you know, what you were feeling just prior to the X39 patches. So you had pain and burning sensation in your leg and feet, and like you just said, you couldn't wear shoes, and you had pain throughout your body, right?
Right, correct.
Right.
I felt like I had the worst hangover of my life, and I missed the party. It's like, where's the party to have this kind of an effect? And it affected my quality of life. I couldn't think straight.
Right. And I remember you said that you had extreme weakness where you were basically bed bound for 5 days, just only had like a couple days up and moving, right?
I needed assistance to get to the restroom. I had a caretaker at one point. And it was in 2020 when I told Mike one day that I think this is the end. You get to that weak point, you surrender into it. And it's like, I've done this before. I know what it's like. I think I'll just let go. And something inside said no. And I've been working with my light.
Right.
And so
I'm going to kind of interject, because all the things that we talked about.
Yes.
So you also said that you like you just said, you have groggy focus and you have really poor sleep. But talk about that, the food thing, the stomach thing.
So 49 pounds later, I would eat, and I had an involuntary bulimia. I would smell food and get sick. I was trying everything to keep any kind of nutrition in. So we opted for liquid nutrition, and that seemed to work well. And so my husband was trying everything. What about this? Does this sound good? Yeah, that sounds great. And he'd cook it, and I couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
And so anyway.
So you started the patch in August of 2021, right? And so.
No, I started the patch November 19th of 2021.
Okay, so I'll change that, November 19th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was your experiences after being on the X39 patch?
Okay, so what happened was I was at this little show. I didn't know if I could go to the show because of the shoe thing, but I was able to get there. And so Kathy Shojan walked by the booth, did a U-turn, came back and said, I have to give you this. So she handed us a couple patches. And the next day we put the patch on, and I immediately felt, I'm a light worker and I'm always in the light. So I can't help but feel things. So for me, I just barely touched it, put it on, and it was like, oh, I need this. I knew it was amping up what I already knew to be true. Our light heals everything from the inside out. And so before that, I fractured my arm and dislocated it in August because I was feeling better. So let's go bike riding. And I hadn't done anything for so long. I had an accident. So I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't lift my arm. I couldn't do anything. I was in intense pain. I lost my independence once again.
No,
So-
not leave it for us. There's two.
Got a minute. Okay, go for it, hon.
Okay. So today, I don't know, it's the 19th will be 2 months. I have no pain. My arms are working. Look at this. Okay. I did slap 2 X39s on in the beginning. I go, hey, I put them on here and I noticed a difference right away. So last week, this girl was able to go swimming. That takes 2 arms, which I haven't had in a very long time. So doing the work that I do, working with people all over the world and helping them find their light, this is a godsend. This gave me my life back because my arms work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
So-
teaching online and I could just do things with one arm. Now I can show them everything.
So if I recall correctly, you said that once you got onto the X39 after the shoulder accident, now you have free range of motion. Your pain that was 8 or 9 out of 10 is now 0.
It's
You lost
gone.
90% of your independence. Now you have it all back.
I'm driving.
Woohoo! And now going back to what was kind of reoccurring from that radiation pointing, how is the pain and the burning sensation now within your leg?
Well, sometimes when we do things to enhance our lives, it creates a little aggravation. So I put the patch on and I had a little aggravation in my left leg. And I feel like that was the last aggravation I'm going to have because that whole thing has shifted. And there's more light there because of that purge. And it can really do its thing.
So it's feeling better. So you don't have any pain in your leg, if I recall correctly, right?
I don't have any pain. I'm wearing shoes.
Woohoo! And
I
how's the pain throughout the body? Is it gone as well?
What is pain?
I love that.
have
What
no
is
pain.
That's excellent.
So Mike and I, we just started patching everybody because, you know, that's what we do. And it's been really fun watching everybody just feel better. Everybody's just feeling better.
So I remember when we talked yesterday, you said that your strength and your endurance has basically returned. Your fatigue has improved by about 80%. You're only resting now out of choice versus out of necessity, right?
Correct.
So how's that focus in your sleep going now and the food?
Well, I'm able to eat. My whole thing has changed with the food, of course, as we evolve. And my diet choices have changed since this. And I'm liking it. More life force in everything, you know? And I don't know, I can smell food and it smells good. And I don't know, I'm just so happy and grateful. And I can't thank God enough for using our instrument, David, and all of you guys for helping us get here. Thank you.
So as you guys can see, Charlene is just so exuberant with just feeling so great. I love talking to you yesterday, Charlene. It was just like such a beautiful, it's like, you know, your energy and your light just kind of really shows exactly what you're trying to convey verbally. So your focus is returned to normal. And you said you're back down to getting some deep REM sleep, which before you weren't able to because you weren't able to keep food down. And so you're constantly getting up to, you know, expel what was in your stomach, and that's no longer bothering you. So I think it's kind of we can all kind of sense, but I want to ask you this question because I know this is really where you shine. How has the X39 and the Lifewave system touched your life for you?
Well, as an energy worker, the first thing I did was I noticed that if I put the X39 up here and the X49 below the belly button, that's on the lower dantian, which is where all the energy congregates. And this C7 is the physical. So it's doing what's called the microcosmic orbit, which is really, it has just amped up everything. I got my life back. I just wanted to get out of that flipping bed. I wanted to be able to go to the bathroom, let my husband leave the house and be without worrying about getting me to the bathroom, you know, in a timely fashion. And so, yeah, it has really enhanced everything. And I just can't share it enough. So that's all we do is share the light and love with the world.
Thank you so much, Charlene. I love your smile and I love your story. Thank you so much for trusting us with your story and coming on here today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for asking.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay, great. All right. And now we're going to go to our second person, and that is Stephanie. Stephanie, why don't you unmute yourself?
Hello.
There she is. Hi, Stephanie. How are you doing tonight?
Hi. Good.
So everyone, Stephanie is a 46-year young woman who hails from Colorado. And so you came on here to kind of share a little bit about yourself, but more so about somebody else. So why don't you share a little bit first? How long have you been on the X39?
I've been on them since October, so about 3 months.
And what have you kind of sort of sensed a little bit for yourself?
For me, I think it's been more of a gradual thing, but I've noticed a little bit increase in energy and my endurance.
Awesome. Yeah, that definitely. And as you can hear, guys, is that sometimes it takes a little longer for us because it's working on some other system. But you really came on here to share a little bit about someone else, which was your mother.
Right.
And her name is Debbie, and she is 69 years young. So why don't you, while you're talking, I'm going to share your photographs while you share the story. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, back in April, she had fallen and broken her arm right by the wrist, kind of the wrist and arm. And yeah, this is the first x-ray. So not the initial x-ray. So as you can see, they had to put in a plate and some screws. And she had also broken on the other side, the ulna. And so this x-ray is actually from 6 weeks later, after they after they put the pins or the screws in, and her ulna wasn't healing, and it wasn't healing to the point where the doctor was very concerned and said, I think we're probably going to do surgery on this bone as well. And my mom was like, oh, I just don't have time. I don't want to do surgery right now again. So the doctor said, okay, we'll give you another 6 weeks and see how you do. And but I'm pretty sure we're going to have to do surgery. And so when she went back in, yeah, you can see the break there in the ulna on the right side there. And so when she went back in 6 weeks later.
Well, wait a minute. So when did she start? So in between there, she started patching with the X39, correct?
She did. Yeah. Actually, a friend of hers, Sharon Jackson, from Alaska, was down visiting and was staying with them for about a week. And my mom had gone to the doctor while she was there and brought back that report, said, oh, it's not healing. They're probably going to have to do surgery again. And then Sharon was like, oh, well, let me share something with you. And it was fairly new to her too at the time, but she showed the patches. So my mom actually started her first X39 patch on the same day she went to the doctor during that x-ray.
Right, during the first x-ray. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. And so 6 weeks later came up and she went in, and I don't know if you want to show that other x-ray.
Oh, can you not see it?
I only see the first one.
All right. So let me stop share and try to do this again. Okay, there we go.
There we go. So now you can see 6 weeks later, and the ulna on the right, you can't even hardly tell.
Yeah, you can't even see that. You can't even see that there's a fracture at all.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. And the
Yeah.
doctor was absolutely astonished, especially after she just wasn't healing. But also it was such a fast, heal there, that the doctor said the only way they could figure that it would be was from the patches. And my mom had already shared that she was using the patches and what it does, that it creates
Right.
a copper peptide. So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
the doctors said that's the only explanation they could think of too.
Right.
But yeah,
So
that was
basically,
a great story.
so your mom went in, she broke her arm, obviously the radius and on the ulnar,
Mhm.
and they went in, they did surgery. And then 6 weeks later is this first, it was the first, for those of you, I will go and screen share it again. I was hoping I'd get both of them on here, but for some reason it's not doing that. So basically, this first x-ray is 6 weeks after she first got her surgery, and nothing, as you can see, everyone, it was not healing at all after 6 weeks. And then that same day she patched, and 6 weeks later, when they took the next x-ray, it was thoroughly healed, even to the point where they said it's even hard to see that it was ever broke.
You have them reversed. So this is the broken one, and then the other one is the healed one.
Oh, gosh darn it. I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry. There we go. Here's the healed one. Yes? I'm
Yes.
looking up both of them. So
Right.
it's showing up different on my computer, guys. Sorry. So here's the, after 6 weeks, it's being completely healed. As you can tell, you can't even see that it's actually been broke. This is amazing.
Mhm.
How's your
Yeah.
mom feeling overall?
Yeah, her wrist is feeling great.
That is
So,
excellent. Wow.
yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing this. I'm sure everybody, and for those of us who would like to share this with other people, we will share these particular x-rays on Quantum X39 team in Telegram. I'll share those later today. So thank you so much, Stephanie, for coming forward and sharing your mother's testimony as well. And we look forward to talking with you in a couple months
Yeah.
to hear what else has been transpiring for you.
Yep, you bet.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. So for those of you that are brand new to this program, what are we talking about? What's this patch? This is a new technology of Lightwave, activating your stem cells. And we're going to have our beautiful Kathleen Nichols tell you more about it. Kathleen? You're muted, Kathleen. There you
Yeah,
go.
for sure. Okay. So thank you so much, Wendy, and thank you, Charlene, and thank you, Stephanie, for coming up and talking about your mom. Wow, all the way from Charlene getting rid of all of her pain due to radiation, her food issues, her shoulder issues, no pain. She's walking around, she's wearing her shoes, she's doing all those things. Her life is completely turned around. Amazing story. Clear to Stephanie's mom, who was not healing at all. They were talking about doing surgery again with her broken wrist, and 6 weeks later with the patch, the wrist is healed, and the doctor is like, wow, what are you doing? Amazing stories. Thank you so much, ladies. So what are we talking about here? We are talking about this little patch right here, the X39 stem cell activating patch. And what is in that? It is organic amino acids, salt, crystals, and water. And what happens is those ingredients form a crystal lattice. So in effect, it's like a reflective substrate. So when you put this patch on your body in whatever you want to put it, it actually reflects the light coming off of your body, because as we know, we all have body heat. That is on the spectrum of light called infrared light. It's low level light. So the light coming off of our body hits the patch and then reflects that light back into our body. At that point, it stimulates our body to produce what we call GHK copper peptide. So GHK copper peptide is an amazing peptide in our body. It is actually responsible for keeping us young, vital, viral, looking no wrinkles, beautiful hair, feeling amazing, all of those things. It is actually a master signaling molecule in our body. It repairs DNA, and with the very first patch in the first 24 hours, you're actually resetting 4,000 genes back to a younger expression. Those are affecting another set and another set. So that's all the GHK is doing, right? Another thing it's doing is once we elevate that GHK in our bloodstream, it is going to produce new stem cells. So what are stem cells? Stem cells are the building blocks of our body. They're the foundation, the template, the blueprint. They are what when we were a fetus in our mama's belly, we had like 10 or 12 of them, and they had the schematics of our body. So they differentiated into the spinal cord, the brain, the liver, the stomach, whatever, to make the body. So that is how important stem cells are. They are literally the building blocks of our body. And so what's happening with the patch is that you are resetting them, you're activating the old ones to get moving again, get that army marching again, and you're actually getting new ones. Those new ones are called pluripotent. And what that means is that they are blank. They have not turned into a different cell yet. They haven't differentiated. So they are just as important as those ones that created that fetus when you were in your mama's belly. So they hold that same intelligence. They actually have the ability to scan your body and determine what needs to be fixed. So for example, there was different things in Charlene's body that needed to be fixed in Stephanie's mom's body. We all come to the table with a list of things going on in our body. And those stem cells, with their innate intelligence, they prioritize that list, and they start clicking that list off. And at that point, folks, we're moving into cellular repair and regeneration. The stem cell, the X39 stem cell activating patch, sets back a third of your human genome. And what does that mean? That means that a third of our genes are going back to a younger expression. So the compounded effect, first 24 hours, you're getting 4,000 set back. Those are affecting the other two circles of sets I told you about. After a compounded effect, you are actually setting a third of your human genome back. And so that is no longer anti-aging. That right there is evidence that it is reverse aging, because like I said, we're setting a third of the human genome back. So one of the reasons it's so important, other than what I just said, which is like amazing, right? Is that at 35, you're going to lose about 50% of your GHK copper peptide. And at that point, you're going to lose about you're going to lose half again of your stem cells. So at 35, you're losing half of the GHK and you're losing half of the stem cells. So then fast forward to 60, you're going to lose about 80% of your GHK and about 80% of your stem cells. And that's when really things start declining. You start, moving into aches and pains, you're getting dis-ease, your body is starting to age, all of those things. And so, like I said, with the patch, you can set a third of those genes back to a younger expression. And as a matter of fact, stem cells are so important that the New England Journal of Medicine actually says it's the #1 indicator of wellness is directly correlated to how many stem cells you have in your body. So let's take a step back to those pluripotent stem cells that are going to turn into whatever your body needs. So say, for example, you have something going on with your liver. It is going to turn into a liver cell. At that point, that liver, the new stem cell that just turned into a liver cell is going to land on your organ, the liver, and it is going to turn that organ new again. So basically, new stem cells landing on old tissue turns that tissue young again. So I really like to do a timeline. It's like some people don't feel it right away, kind of like Stephanie. She's got some results, but it must be healing something internal. And so really what I'd like to tell you is that there's a timeline I like to talk about. And what happens at 6 weeks is your brain is becoming balanced. What that means is that your left and your right hemisphere are now talking to each other in perfect communication. That, my friends, relieves PTSD, anxiety, depression, helps Asperger's, ADD, all of those things. So that's at 6 weeks. In my own family, we had that experience, which was remarkable. At 2 months, your heart is becoming younger. So at 2 months, your cardiovascular system is reversing aging. At 3 months, your collagen is becoming repaired. So for the ladies, that means no more little wrinkles, the eyes, the smiles, all of that is looking a lot younger. But really on the inside, what does it mean? It means that your low back doesn't hurt anymore. It means that if you go to the chiropractor, that your adjustment holds longer, because collagen is the integrity of your skeletal and your muscular system. So that's at 3 months. At 6 months, this is the one I really like, drum roll. At 6 months, your biological markers are becoming 8 years younger. So 6 weeks, brain balance, 2 months, younger heart, 3 months, collagen repaired, 6 months, biological markers are 8 years younger. So that is absolutely amazing. So how do you wear it? You know what? You wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Typically, you can put it on CV7, which is that knobby vertebrae behind your neck, or you can put it below your belly button. Those are the 2 recommended spots, but actually you can put it anywhere you want. I have a feeling Charlene put it right on her pain. I know when I've had a knee pain, I put it right there. So any spot will do. Like I said, you wear it 12 hours on. It's like light on, and then you take it off, throw it away, light off. So when you're wearing it, all that yummy good stuff that I talked about is going to be doing that repair and regeneration at the cellular level. When you take it off, it's going to be all activated. When you take it off, it's going to be doing all that repair. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Completely non-transdermal. It's just your body heat, your light activating the patch to heal itself. Super in alignment with body heal thyself. So non-transdermal, non-invasive. So the Lifewave, which is the company that we have going on here, is a 17-year-old company. At this point, when I joined this company 2 years ago, we had 94 patents. We're like up at 130 now. David Schmidt, I don't even know when he sleeps. He is just a rocket. He's a rocket scientist, I swear, but he's actually a photobiomodulation scientist. And anyways, he is knocking it out in the R&D. We have over 130 patents. 70 of those are in regenerative science. So that's amazing. 70 of those in regenerative science. And yes, this is patent. X39 is patent, which means nobody can use this technology for 20 years. So we have a well-established company, like I said, 17 years old, with a brand new product. So you can imagine that that is the perfect storm for sharing with the whole entire planet, one patch at a time, and really affecting the quality of people's life. And yes, we do share with the whole planet. We distribute to 81 countries. So we are global, and just, helping everybody get a better quality of life. So how do you get involved? There's a couple different ways. You could become a preferred customer, which that would mean that you have a subscription every month, and you also get samples of our other supplemental patches. And that just comes right to your door every month. Or you could see the vision, which is what a lot of us here on this call saw. And that means that you would love to share it with your loved ones and your family and your friends. And with that, you could get 5 different kits. The more that it costs, the more that you get patches. So it's all about get in where you fit in and start helping your loved ones, your friends, and your family having a better quality of life. So I'd like to invite you to check out startx39.com. That will just kind of review everything that we talked about tonight. And there's a lot of testimonials. You can check out all those clinical studies we talked about. Again, that's startx39.com. And we do this Patching podcast every day of the week, Monday through Thursday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be our lovely Beamy and Amy. And with that, good night, and thank you for joining us.